December 2009, I opened a Christmas present from my friend Jennifer and discovered 2 beaded bracelets. Like the tiny words on some of the beads, the effects of globalism are all around, but often lurk beneath the surface. This story will take a look at these beads, who makes them, who buys them, and their connection to the fair trade movement.
I first saw it on campus in our food court. There was an organization was selling some, and I was looking for Christmas presents for my girlfriends and family. And I saw this beautiful jewelry, and I went over and looked at it, and then I saw that it was magazines rolled up and made by women in Africa, and the sales of this jewelry helped them economically, and then I just had to buy them because they were beautiful, and I felt good about buying them, that they had a sort of a higher purpose.
Tiffany Christian, a professor at Appalachian State University, has a direct connection to bead making. For the past 3 years, she and her students have gone on a service learning trip to Uganda and interacted with the bead makers.
To give them the context of why this is important. They're not making these beads to get rich, but they just want to pay fees for their kids to go to school. Try to give them some context in terms of economy, because it's really difficult. The women we work with, they want to make some money. And so I tell the students, use your best judgment in terms of how much you pay, because it is a haggling type society, and so you can get caught up in that. But I try to urge them to think about what you would pay at home, pay a reasonable price. Don't take advantage of the women just because you can, because you know they're working hard for a good cause. So I really want to have them have some context as to the meaning behind it. It's not just, oh, this cute little thing people are selling tourists. Oh, it was amazing because I actually got to sit down with them, and they tried to teach us how to make them, and just talked a little bit about why they wanted to make them, how much money they were making, how important it was. But also I got to experience kind of the sisterhood of all the women sitting around together and working on the beads. It's kind of like the romanticized quilting circles. They did, a group of them sat around a table and worked together and shared stories as well as worked. I bring the necklaces home and sell them and send the money back. And I've seen these same necklaces in retail stores and looking at the price and knowing that the women aren't getting what they deserve because there are too many middle people. So it's that kind of thing that comes to mind, where it's a wonderful idea, and people are spending $30, $40, $50 for a necklace like this, but the women may have gotten $2 or $3. That's what bothers me about the concept, is there's so many middle people that the people that really need the benefit don't necessarily get what they deserve out of it. The fair trade. What that brought up is probably the most pressing, is I really would like to see people ask questions about how much is really going back, and well-meaning people really think about, okay, what profit are they making, how much are they paying, and what are the women getting compared to what all the other people are making, given what these women are doing. Again, they're not building big houses, they're not buying jewelry. They're trying to buy uniforms so their kids can go to school. They're really struggling for the basics. And if we can afford something as frugal as jewelry to contribute to that, then we need to make conscious and wise decisions and contribute appropriately.
You don't have to travel with Tiffany and her students to Africa to buy beaded jewelry. You can walk down King Street and visit the Open Door.
My name is Fran Boyette. I have a shop here in Boone called the Open Door. I carry mostly African merchandise, jewelry, baskets, and other items. I was inspired by my son Ryan, who lives in Sudan. I wanted to help the people of Africa to produce an income so that it could help them educate their children and just even put food on the table and clothing. And so that's kind of how I got started. I think fair trade is, actually it is an association, I believe, that seeks out to make sure that the people get paid a fair amount for the items that they're making. And it's not according to the U.S. standards, it's according to what village or what town or what area you're purchasing from. I think what encourages me is I think this area of Boone seems to be very aware of what fair trade is, and I've found some individuals that will really ask for that. They want to support it. People have come in and said, are all of your items fair trade? So I think that's encouraging to see that a lot of people in this area seem to be educated about that topic, which is good, and that's encouraging to me.
My hope is that it helps them. I mean, that's the whole reason behind buying fair trade jewelry. I have to say, these earrings that I'm wearing are also fair trade. These are ones that I got as a gift from my sister. But whenever she and I buy gifts, we like to go to stores like Sojourns or 10,000 Villages and things like that to buy gifts. Because we hope that what it does for the women is that it gives them a way that they can make some money, so that it'll give them a little bit of freedom, give them some control over their own lives, give them a chance to feed their children and take care of themselves and not be reliant, or I don't know if that's the right word, but just to be able to take care of themselves, to give them that sense of self-esteem. I think that there are a lot of areas in the world, here, everywhere, where you know, people just, they can do it themselves, and we just need to help them do that. Trade is when you pay the fair market value for something. If it's jewelry, or you can buy fair trade coffee, fair trade chocolate. I think that it's moving us away from a mass-produced cheap mentality, where we see kind of everything that goes into the products that we have, that we wear, that we eat, that we drink, and we're willing to pay what it really costs to have that. If I could talk, we were talking specifically today about the jewelry, but if I could say a little bit of something about coffee, because that's something that I consume a lot of. I think it's important for me to buy fair trade coffee, because it's not just that the people who are producing the coffee beans are receiving money, but it's also that they are being paid for growing coffee in a sustainable way that's good for the environment. And so it keeps them from doing things like burning down the rainforest and just all manner of things. They can actually make a decent wage by growing coffee in the shade and doing some of these sustainable things. So that's part of the hope as well. And even with the jewelry, like if these women have the opportunity to make money with the jewelry, maybe that will keep them from doing something else that's going to destroy the environment. So it has a lot of... I would just like to say that I think this is something really important for everyone to do, and that with every purchase that we make, we are impacting the world. And we don't perhaps see it, like run into wherever and buy a new purse or something, but you need to think about where was that produced? Where did it come from? What kind of a footprint is this leaving? And I think if everybody starts thinking about that, then our world will get better.
I hope this jewelry has made you ponder the larger questions of globalism, poverty, and fair trade, especially in the lives of women in developing countries. Bead creation provides employment, reduces poverty, allows for creativity, and has many other positive effects for these women and their community. This is related to justice globalism because it shows the connection between globalization and local well-being. Staker defines justice globalism as a global civil society that is focused on establishing a more equitable relationship between the global North and South, the protection of the global environment, fair trade, human rights, and women's issues. Beaded jewelry is more than just an accessory. It's a way to raise awareness about the larger issues of globalism, poverty, and fair trade. Beaded jewelry, handmade by African women, is a perfect example of globalization in my backyard.
La